What's up, America? Tony from the Real American Outdoors here. In today's RAO Self-Reliance episode, we're talking about whether you should save money or whether you should buy items that hold their value, and kind of what should we do as we go into these uncertain stagflationary times here. So you can see I have a bunch of stuff out on the table here, a few different things, whether they're food, material, objects, or what have you. So as we've all been hit by inflation, prices continue to rise, our dollars are becoming more and more worthless by the day. So some people think we should just save and build up money, then spend something over time, or should you just buy something now because it's going to be more expensive in the future. I tend to take the approach you should you should have a balance between the responsibility but yet understand things are going to get more expensive. So if you have the cash, I would buy it now as opposed to waiting in these uncertain inflationary times. So what does that mean to buy items that we can protect our wealth with, right? So by protecting our wealth or even investing in something, we're not investing something that is fake, like a stock or a bond or cryptocurrency is a little bit different, but we are going to be looking for something that's going to increase in value, hold their value, something that's actually tangible that you can physically hold and own. So the first good example of this, and I've done another video on this, is kind of precious metals. So here I just have some junk 90% dimes here in my guardhouse tube. But obviously precious metals are a good example of a way to protect your wealth and financial future, especially gold right now, but silver is probably more of a better barter item. So these, turning your dollars into precious metals is, if you look over the course of charts, it's only going to increase in value over time. Definitely more of a long-term play. But if you're kind of looking to invest in something that's going to hold value, and by invest, I mean change this into your own savings account and be your own bank, this is the way you're going to want to do it. So a good option is precious metals, but it's not the first one I would do. The first one I would do is looking into food and water. So I have my water filtrations here. Notice I don't actually have water bottles to represent water because I have plenty of water bottles, but you can buy water bottles, but eventually they're going to run out, or there might be a shortage on the plastic, what have you. Having a way to filter and obtain your own water naturally is going to be much more benefit than you going out to Walmart or Costco and buying all of the packs of water. So, water filtration, especially if there's a shortage on the water bottles or what have you, or just a natural run on them at the store in general, being able to get your own water and having a filter to filter out the dirty water from outside is going to become a much more valuable tool that if you invest now may pay off in the future, especially if you buy a bunch of extra Life Straws or the cheap Amazon brands. I bet you can, barter for them or trade them or even just sell them for something more valuable than what you paid for. So same thing with food, right? So obviously I have a bunch of canned food here and, mason jar of rice here. So obviously food, especially with, the shortages that we're going to see in the future, especially in the grain markets, and then kind of what we're seeing over in China with the production and the avian flu going around here. Food is only going to become more valuable, especially preserved food. The food that doesn't last long, that'll quickly go by the wayside once it's bought from the store. But this, more canned food, long-term preserved food, especially, poultry protein, is going to become very valuable in the future. And not only to be able to preserve it, but also to understand how to grow it as well. So if you're able to start your own garden and seed and preserve that food, whether it's in the mason jar canning process or whether you just, pick it from your garden and eat it, one, it's going to save you money, and two, that you are growing something of value or producing something of value to yourself, not necessarily something that you're, using your time to obtain a fake piece of paper in order to buy something that's tangible. So definitely something, food, if you're looking to and invest in yourself. You know, have a stock pantry. The stock pantry is going to be much more valuable than your 401k over the next 2 years, especially if you're not retired yet. So this is going to be a good investment moving forward. Next one's kind of a more fun one, and that's kind of more of our firearms section. As we know, we'll check if we're clear. So we're clear. So no mag in the chamber as well. So firearms, especially over the past few years, have definitely been something that has held their value. They've gone up exponentially over even the last 10 years, especially during around election seasons. So having firearms, you know, once you buy it, you kind of own it. They tend to hold their value, and you can usually sell them for higher than what you bought, especially in these times. Kind of another aspect to that is ammunition. So I have, 5.56, 9mm on the table here. So obviously having popular ammunition, I've talked about this in other videos as well, but understanding that, these have only gone up in value over the past 10 plus years also, and people are willing to trade and barter for these and pay more than probably what you bought for them a while ago, especially if you store it and they're all, nice and correctly stored and not rotting out or get exposed to the elements. So having ammunition, as another thing of savings account, also a barter item, kind of having all these things is going to just help you out. And lastly, I have down here medical supplies here. This is kind of more like a wound care type kit that I made, but obviously if you look over what's going on in Eastern Europe right now, we talked about, not having access to the electronic money, real money. We talked about food and water that you see on the news that a lot of people struggling with. We're talking about the firearms that, they needed a lot of international help because we live in America. We have the Second Amendment a little bit different. And then lastly, we see all the, lack of medical supplies. We always hear about the doctors that go over there in Eastern Europe saying there's lack of medical supplies, we need medical supplies, we need medical supplies. So being able to have your own, once you buy it, it's not like these necessarily will go Band-Aid or a gauze pad's not going to necessarily go bad if you store it, right? So make sure you have your medical supplies. These are worth their own weight. So and you can see the importance in a real applicable situation just by turning on your TV. So quick recap: great things to invest in that it's going to hold your value, and then if you buy it now, it's only going to become more expensive down the road. So we got precious metals, food, water and water filtration, Second Amendment items, whether it's the actual firearm or the ammunition itself, and just some basic medical supplies. Doesn't have to be a fancy blowout kit, but just basic medical supplies, to get you through a tough situation. So thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. Please make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook as well. RealAmericanOutdoors.com. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.